What? Oh my god. What is going on, everybody? Calzone here. My first ever YouTube video. You guys might know me from Whatnot and Instagram, serving up vintage grails every week. But I'm starting to do some more content, and I'm excited to be here with you guys. And hopefully, some of you will want to come check it out. But I figured for my first video ever, I spend a lot of time buying and selling vintage. And I had this idea in my head last year that I needed to acquire one awesome set for the Calzone Cards vault. And I'm going to tell you guys why this was the pick, how I pulled it off, and kind of what I think about this set going forward. So first edition base set, guys, you have all the original base set artworks with the first edition stamp, shadowless. These were such a limited print run, it's not even funny. Like, we probably remember from the playground mostly having the unlimited copies of these, at least I did in my binder. And if you look at the pop reports on some of these, there's only a few hundred of these cards really ever graded by the grading companies. So I was looking around at the hobby last year. There was a lot of money starting to fly in that wasn't here before. I noticed there was a lot of investing going on, a lot of flipping with modern and mid-era going on, and I was just kind of feeling like first edition vintage was being overlooked in general. So I was scooping a lot of first edition vintage up because when I think back to my childhood, those are the cards I remember. I did not make it even to e-readers as a kid. I kind of trailed off like around the Neo time. I had Jungle Fossil base set mostly in my binder is what I remember as a kid in terms of opening packs and collecting. And I just think, guys, as Pokemon sort of matures into a bigger market, we are seeing the oldest and rarest is going to be worth the most. If you look at all the other sort of markets that are parallel to Pokemon, in my opinion, so we're talking art, we're talking coins, we're talking antiques, we're talking sports cards, etc., etc., the oldest and the rarest is always going to be worth the most money in the long term. As you know, people grow up, people in their 20s get into their 30s now, even older than that, people are going to be looking to have the first original set, and I truly believe that. And on top of that, it's just so freaking nostalgic. These artworks were everywhere as a kid, right when Pokemon came out. I think it's just interesting, right? Like, the prints on these are just super, kind of all over the place. The print run, like a lot of bad centering, a lot of print dots on the holos and the yellow borders. Wizards of the Coast had no idea Pokemon was going to be a thing. They were like, let's just get these cards out the door. And then they started redoing the designs. And then we got the Shadow unlimited version that I think we all mostly remember. And it was like middle of last year where I started working on this set. And I picked up my first pickup. What was my first pickup? My first pickup, I believe, was this Mewtwo Raw. This was the only one I graded myself. So I don't grade very much. For those of you that have been following me on other platforms, I'm mostly a raw buyer and seller, but I have this one in my collection, so I graded the Mewtwo, and then I started to pick up more. I was like, the Venusaur I think was second. I picked up some of the middle tier first was my strategy, not the most expensive like the Charizard, which was one of the last ones I picked up, but I started picking up some of the mid-level ones like Raichu, Alakazam, Mewtwo. And then when I got Blastoise, so I got Blastoise, when I picked up Blastoise, this one I think is the cleanest copy that I have. There's like no whitening on the back of this new Cert 8. All the PSA slabs are new certs because I do believe these will age really well. A lot of these really do look like 10s, and they're 7 and 8s. They really do look like 10s or at least 9s at the very least. They're super clean, and once I got the Blastoise, I only had a few left, and that was an expensive one. It's gone up a ton. I think I got that card for $2,000 and it just sold for $6,000. So once I got the Blastoise, all I had left was Chansey and Charizard. So I was feeling really good at that time, and I was really dragging my feet on the Holy Grail, guys. The freaking Charizard. I had a chance to buy a PSA 7 for $11,000 not that long ago, and I passed up on it because it just felt like so much money, and where my business was at, it was just such a large percentage of the funds that I had available to me at that time. But I've really been, growing really quickly on different platforms. You guys have probably been in my Whatnot streams. If you haven't, definitely join. We dollar start really crazy vintage cards all the time. But this new Cert 6 was just so freaking clean. I picked this up for about $18K very recently, which felt like a really good deal just given how clean it was. It really looks like an 8 on the back there, and I don't really see any issues on the front of it. And it's a card I'm going to keep forever, so the number doesn't really bother me, although it is the only one that's not like a 7 or an 8, I should say. But that said, I still think there's a good opportunity to get in on this set, guys. Like, as we're looking at the prices going really crazy right now, I think we're seeing first editions starting to get, you know, the respect they deserve, especially in higher grades. Some of the lower pop cards and Neo, Fossil, Jungle, Base are starting to really climb. I think now is still potentially a good time for you guys to get in on base set, because even as the market ebbs and flows, we're going to see base set be very stable. Probably one of the most stable sets, I would say. You could maybe argue Gold Stars, you could maybe argue Sky Ridge, but I just think first edition base set will hold the crown long term as the most valuable set, and particularly the most popular Pokemon like the Mewtwo, the Charizard, the Blastoise, Venusaur, even Gyarados and Alakazam. I think will have a lot of staying power, and I think there's a lot of value in having this set together. But this is my first video, guys. I just wanted to pop on here, test out the channel a little bit. Hopefully you guys found this interesting. I think some of my favorite artworks from base set, like the Mewtwo, just lives in my head forever for whatever reason. I really like the Venusaur. I really love the Alakazam. And then one that I think slept on a ton is the Ninetales. But just such a sick set. Like, we've looked at these artworks so many times, but to have the first editions as an adult, I've never held any of these cards. I plan on, you know, storing these away for a long time, maybe giving them to my son one day. So it's just that type of set, guys, and it doesn't get the respect it deserves, I feel like, especially from the new people coming into the hobby. It might look boring, it might look stale, it might look old, but this is the stuff that's going to hold its value, not the things that are coming straight out of a pack and getting graded. I might be biased because I'm a vintage guy, but I still truly believe that pop counts matter. Cards going straight to pack and being graded makes no sense to me why anybody would buy really a modern 10 that's just come right out of the pack. I think the whole point of grading should be to grade you know, something that's been sitting in a collection for a long time and needs its condition evaluated. So that's kind of my point of view on the market. I love raw cards. I love just collecting all sorts of things. I'm going to do another video. There's another set that I feel is in a similar spot as base set, and I'm feeling like I'm a little bit late in getting into it because it is starting to climb as well, but I had about half of it done. But that will probably be my next video. I'll be doing some other content potentially too. Would love to hear in the comments, you know, what you guys would like to hear from me. I have quite an extensive collection. I have a really nice Japanese collection as well. But definitely like, subscribe, hit up my whatnot if you haven't. Calzone cards everywhere. Thank you for checking out this video, and I hope to do more of these soon. Thank you guys so much. Peace.